So if I'm super grateful,
Right.
and I'm just living in my vision, and I'm executing every day, where does fear find room?
Right.
This is the Ask Chris Johnson Show. Let's get it. This is part 2 of the Ask Chris Johnson Show with Shannen Lam. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, make sure to watch that before this episode. It's great. And if you have, enjoy part 2. Welcome to the Ask Chris Johnson Show.
What fears do you have?
I don't have any fear.
Really?
No. Real talk, Shannon, like, I'm fearless, man. I think what allows me to be fearless is I'm full of gratitude and I'm full of expectation. I'm blessed of like all the things that I have. Like I'm really present of like, dude, I'm blessed. I'm far from where I want to go in reaching my goals. But the goals that I have accomplished, I cherish those.
Right.
I look around and I'm like, man, this is a blessing. And then expectation, it's already done in my mind. Like I really believe like, it's already done. It's just a matter of time. Like I truly believe that. So my expectation, I'm living in my imagination. I believe it's coming. Right? Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if I'm super grateful,
Right.
and I'm just living in my vision, and I'm executing every day, where does fear find room?
Right. So when you say expectations, are you saying expectations for yourself or expectations of others?
Of myself.
Okay.
What stresses a lot of people out is when they try to control the uncontrollable.
Right.
That's where the stress comes in.
Right.
That's where fear comes in.
Right.
Is trying to, I'm very clear on I can control what I can control.
Right.
And everything I can't control, I give it to the controller of all, God.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest thing is that control what you can control. Everything that you can't control and you really want to happen, that's your prayer list. And so that's how I operate as far as that.
I like that. I can see why you're extremely successful. You don't let anything hold you back.
No, not at all.
My husband and I, we've been doing business together for a long time. Over the years, we've kind of felt like we can't really talk to anybody about business. So who do you talk to about business?
Yeah. So you got to be able to talk to people. You got to increase your proximity. Because I talk to a lot of people about business. It used to be where I could just talk to family members.
Right.
But you scale to a different level where the language is different.
Yes.
You still love them and you still cherish them, but the language is different. They can't give you any more because they've never been there. Right? But there's someone that owns 50 restaurants.
Right.
Something that you struggled in, they failed miserably 10 times.
Right.
You can be able to talk to them to learn something of just avoiding some pitfalls.
Okay.
I love business. And so whatever sector it is, I really enjoy learning from people that have won. It just blesses me like no other. Like my favorite shows are The Profit and Shark Tank. I love business.
Right.
Sometimes it's just I learned something that just is mind-blowing to me, and you need that outlet to be able to talk to other business owners.
Right.
Because just as we're having this conversation on the show, these are normal conversations I have on a daily basis.
Right.
So I'm always learning. I'm always picking up something, whether it's failures, successes, or pitfall avoided, or the joys of them winning. It's inspiring for you to see that because you know like you're on the right path.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So you definitely want to continue to increase that.
Okay. What was the most challenging time in your life?
One is when I was building the Johnson Group. I left the previous company to start my own. I said, hey, you can have all the contacts and everybody, all my customers that I had before. I just want to start my own company. And that was $1 billion company and they sued me. They're basically just trying to crush my business. My business wasn't even open 2 months, Shannon. I had my lawyer say, hey, look, Tell them they can have all the customers. I just want to go on with my life. They can have all the success I created for them.
Yeah.
And they said, no, we're still suing you. And I remember it was one of the most stressful times in my life. I got angry and I said, you know what? I'm not going to allow them to crush my business. I turned on a work ethic I never did before. I financed the lawsuit by sheer cash flow of a business that just got started. And I ended up winning that lawsuit, but it really wasn't a win. It took so much of my time and resourcing and stressed my family out. I look back on it and it built me for who I am today.
Right.
Like, I'm a beast. And I'm a beast because I can look adversity in the face and be like, I'm not moved. Not because I'm special. It's just that my faith is really strong that I don't see adversity stopping me. A retailer could tell me no, and I still am faithful of like that we still gonna win.
Right.
There's a pastor called a bishop, T.D. Jakes, and he preached this message, and I was listening to it on YouTube, and it said, "Thank God for the scraps." And the key of that message was that no matter how much trouble you are in your life, that there's still scraps. There's still scraps. And so I looked at my life, and I still have my wonderful wife who's just amazing. I outkicked my coverage with her, okay? I still had my amazing children. You know, I still had my house that I was holding on to. I had some amazing scraps that people would die for. I thanked them for just the scraps. And then that put a spirit of gratitude on me where things were all right. And that when I'm here at the bottom, there's only one way to go.
Right.
That's what challenge did to me, and it just reminds me of that moment.
Right.
And that's been a critical moment for me from all of my success all the way to this day. Anytime someone is going through some pain, going through some challenges, there's always something in your life to be thankful for.
That's definitely a great way to look at it, because we went through something kind of similar too. Because in 2008, we all kind of went through this, financial crisis, having to deal with almost losing our house. We had to close down a business, and then we had this new business that we were trying to like make it go. But we were in survival mode. You know, we were trying to like climb out of the hole that we were in. But you know what? That's when all the growth happened.
Yeah.
That's when we really learned, and we had to work those long hours and try a bunch of different things and make a lot of mistakes, but I would never take that time back.
Absolutely.
Because that's when we learned and that's when we grew.
Absolutely.
So in 2016, we kind of had a mini kind of situation like that too, where everything kind of like, not really blew up, but everything just kind of halted,
Yeah.
Because we went through that difficult situation in 2008, I feel like that was like super hard back then. So now this is like nothing. This is like, okay, we just got to work a little bit.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Absolutely. Just some tweaks.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
But I mean,
that's awesome.
It's nice. It's just,
that's awesome.
because we're experienced now. Whereas before it's like, we're just trying to figure it out.
Absolutely.
Like, what,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. What other questions you got?
All right, let's see. What was the most important lesson you've ever learned?
There's so much I've learned, and it's hard to just give one lesson the credit. I'll give three. Okay. One lesson is the importance of faith. Not just faith in yourself, but also faith in God. Like, I've built businesses without faith. And so understanding where my limitations stop and God's no limitation start is important. I think that's a big one. It's the faith. The other part is the work. To reach success, it's intentional. It's deliberate. It's not by accident. Tapping into that work ethic, that you have that faith in that work, you're winning. The third thing I've learned is hold on to your imagination. What I learned is that the enemy's trying to steal your imagination. Everything, this table, your shirt, this chair, someone imagined how they would design it.
Right.
And then they created, they said, with the mesh, with the sway back, and created that. The same thing with your clothes, the designer, your necklace, your Chanel necklace. It was in their imagination. River's Edge. It was in someone's imagination when it started. And you imagine what that thing could be. You cannot lose that.
Right.
Imagination is life's is a preview of life's coming attractions. The moment I give up on that is the moment that I don't have faith anymore. I would say that would be my third thing. Hold on to your imagination. Hold on to that vision that you want for your life. Continue to persevere until you reach it. Those are my three.
I like it. It's not like you had came from like a wealthy family.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about like what that was like, starting off? Because you went to college and all those things.
Absolutely.
Built a big business.
Absolutely.
I'd like to hear the early years of Chris Johnson.
Yeah, so married my high school sweetheart, my wife, Shannen Johnson. Look, I married up. I outkicked my coverage, okay? So I love my wife. She's amazing. Yeah. So, so I'm the first of 26 grandchildren that went to college. Shannen was the first in her family to get a college degree. So, we were really proud of that as far as our foundation. I think that what started it is I've always been ambitious. I've always, you remember me in high school, right? Here 16 years old and I got my own dance clubs and, 19, I had a modeling agency. I've always been ambitious. And Shauna has always been my number one supporter. Right. She's always bought into the vision that I have for us, as a family. That foundation led us to where we are now. I mean, next month, she and I will be together 25 years. You believe that?
That's amazing.
25 years. Thank you. And when I tell you, like, growing up in Southside, I went to Charles Mack, and I grew up on A Parkway. I didn't even know that I didn't have much.
Right.
No, it's only when I retrospect because, dude, it was love. We had so much, fun, as a kid. So it's only when I look back of like, I always knew that I had two dreams. I wanted to be an NBA basketball player, and I wanted to be a businessman. And it was Boomerang, Eddie Murphy in the movie Boomerang.
I love that movie.
He had a corner office and he had Halle Berry. And I said, doggone it, I want to be a businessman.
Got it.
And so I'm living my dream, man. I'm living my dream. I love seeing other people pursue their dream. And I'm glad that you as far as seeing your success, women business owners, Florin High School.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're owning a restaurant and doing amazing things. So you're a huge inspiration. And I appreciate you coming to the Ask Chris Johnson show. So that's our Ask Chris Johnson show. I want to thank Shannen Lam for coming to the show. So we'll see you next week. Like the page, share. I hope this blesses your brains out. We're out. Thanks for watching the Ask Chris Johnson show. If you want to be on the Ask Chris Johnson show, go ahead and direct message me. Joel or I will get back to you as far as scheduling times. We'll see you on the next episode of the Ask Chris Johnson show. Let's go!